Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time watching my channel, I basically make videos on how to put enough effort into your RPG groups that they'll be successful and enjoyable throughout the night. Or in other words, how to not do YOLOs. But in making a lot of these videos and rolling a couple of alts and trying to get them into the PvP scene myself, I've found that YOLOs actually do have a bit of a niche or purpose that they fulfill quite well. First off, let me explain what I mean by YOLO. I'm thinking any kind of RPG where you don't have everybody in voice chat with a working mic or some plan around that. There are different types of YOLOs under that definition. You can have YOLOs where you still go through and make sure you have a good comp and you're trying to put together a team that actually has a chance, but you just don't feel like doing the whole voice thing. Then there are groups that just go and click that auto accept button in Pug Finder and take whatever they get. Those ones there isn't much of a hope for, and honestly, you might as well do regular BGs. But let's talk about the former. Those of us who would rather run BGs with everything in line and have a decent chance of pushing some rating tend to snub our noses a little bit at YOLOs. But I found that there are a number of reasons why people enjoy doing YOLOs. Let's go through a few of those. First off, you may just be tired of regular BGs, particularly the matchmaking system, the bots, the crybabies, just all the crap that goes on within within regular BGs. You might be tired of it and you're just looking for something where you have a little bit more control. YOLOs at least give you the ability, if you're the group leader, to make sure that you're going to have a decent number of healers and a semi-workable comp. For many people, that's all they're looking for. Let me tell you a little story that you've probably experienced already, especially if you're rolling Alliance this season. So once upon a time, you get into a regular Battle for Gilneas BG. Immediately, you and the buddy you queued up with head off to the opposing team's starter base to pick a fight where they don't expect it. Behind you is someone's neglected little brother in raid chat, already whining that you're doing it wrong and that everyone is always supposed to go to the team fight at Waterworks, despite the fact that there are 3 to 4 people who are still sitting at your starter base guarding the flag. Meanwhile, little brother and several bot players are on their way to Waterworks to get it slaughtered. Not because they're particularly bad players, the bots are actually doing quite well, but because the matchmaking algorithm has seen fit to give the other team several healers and you none. Or maybe it did give you a healer, but he's back at your starter base, playing guard duty. The fight at Waterworks is a predictable failure. You and your buddy have a nice time having a peaceful 2v1 at the opposing base. You cap it, and then because the only one reading raid chat is little brother, nobody comes to reinforce the cap. The game ultimately ends with the majority of your team sitting at your starting base, sulking and picking fights with little brother in chat. Sound familiar? I've bashed on YOLOs before, but after regular BGs like this, I start to find myself revisiting the idea. I start to understand actually a lot better why a lot of people just want to have that bit of control. And for those people, YOLOs are a great option. Some other reasons why you might find yourself more attracted to YOLOs than to actual raiding push groups. You may be shy. You may not have a mic, though frankly I believe that most people saying they don't have mics actually do. Or at least have a phone. You might be lazy. You might be casual. That's not the same as being lazy. You just might not have the time to sit and put together a group, which takes time. Real life might be kicking you in the butt. You might only have 1 hour to play. Not a lot of time, and if you're gonna sit in queue, building a comp and getting everybody into chat, that takes time. I get it. You might just be low on time in general, all the time, and for whatever reason. In that case, you don't have the time to sit in groups that are forming for a long time. Just like the casuals. Your favorite spec might be just out of favor with higher rating groups, but you still want to RBG on that spec. I did a video last week about comps and how generally things change from hotfix to hotfix, and you can see what classes and specs are actually being taken in RBGs. Yours just might be one that's out of favor. Give it a few months and you'll be back in, depending on the hotfix. Well, I take it back. If you're playing a tank, it could be a while. But, you know, there's no reason why you can't still RBG. You just might be limited to YOLOs and low CR. Lastly, you might be rolling a new character that needs XP or CR. In this case, a lot of people don't realize it, but YOLOs are actually the perfect tool for you to get this. One, you don't lose rating. All the way up until the 1500s, you can lose every BG and you'll still not lose rating. So why not just do the easy to put together YOLO groups all the way up to the 1500s, and then you can sell yourself a little bit better when trying to get into a little more formed or structured group with leaders and whatnot. Until then, you're a risk to that team that wants to push rating because you've got nothing to show. You don't have the rating yourself. If you're sitting at 0 or 200 CR, it shows that you're brand new to the season, at least on that character. You may still not know it as well as you think you do. YOLOs are another great option for that. Learning your character, learning your CC and your interrupts and whatnot. If you've been PvEing on that character even for years, I know some PvEers that have to open up their spell book whenever I mention the CC spell that they have for their class. You also may need to have some time to network with other people. Find some other players that you enjoy PvPing with. Find a guild that you might like. Or find some leaders that are looking for people that play your class. Lastly, you can get a taste of some RBG fundamentals if you're brand new to the scene. If you have never RBG'd before, you've still got a lot to learn. Strat, TCing, PvP add-ons, effective communications, RBG roles, what's the flavor of the day comps that everyone's running, and again that CC and interrupt. If you're jumping into a group that's got everybody in chat and you don't know that stuff, you could find yourself in some awkward situations. And you may not enjoy that, but you can learn a lot of this stuff through low CR and YOLOs up front, and it's a little bit more comfortable to do so. If I've got the time and some friends online, I'm generally going to favor rating push groups just because they're a lot more fun, they're a lot more intense, and there's just a lot more organization going on. But if you find yourself in one of these situations that we've talked about, maybe you're starting a new character, you're new to PvP, you just can't get into groups, or you don't have the CR that everybody else is going with yet, give YOLOs a try. I think that you'll find that they're a lot easier to get into, and they can be enjoyable, especially if you find YOLOs, like I said, of the type where they are still working a little bit to have decent comps, type out some strats up front, and play a decent game, just not with everybody in Curse or Discord. So that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you're new to the channel, most of my videos are very much not YOLO. I'm talking about how to do communications, how to get together decent comps, how to call good strats. Check some of those out, and I will see you again next week with another video.
Flag.
Countered.
Oh, it's over. It doesn't matter.
Alright, I'm spinning. I'm spinning.
Oh boy, guys, I'm a legionnaire. Yeah.